So while everyone else goes to see the tale they've seen before and a song that most adore, I'm going to see a film about a bunch of people trapped inside of an office whose heads explode. Yeah, as if working in an office wasn't shitty enough. Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy, and I'm here today to review the film, The Belko Experiment. Now, The Belko Experiment is about a bunch of people who work in an office in a foreign land that end up trapped in said office and forced to kill each other for some sick, demented experiment. And from here, they all just struggle to survive. So basically, it's The Hunger Games meets The Office. Now, this film was written and produced by James Gunn, the same man who wrote the remake to Dawn of the Dead and wrote and directed Super. The reason I bring up those two films instead of Guardians of the Galaxy is because those two films are more in line and share a similar tone to The Belko Experiment, and it is more up James Gunn's alley. This is what he was known for before he did Guardians of the Galaxy. And when looking at the trailers for The Belko Experiment, I said to myself, yep, that is definitely vintage James Gunn when he's making a rated R film. And I won't lie when I say that the trailers really piqued my interest for this film. I wanted to see what it was going to be all about. I mean, I kind of knew what it was going to be all about, but I wanted to see what direction it was going to take. And so I saw the film, and what do I think about it? Well, let's get into it. To be straightforward with you guys, I don't really have that much to say about the film. It's a competently made film. The story, while not being anything really unique or special, is still simple and easy to follow, and I was into the story. I wanted to see how it was going to unfold. The characters are also pretty simple. A lot of them are kind of generic and just there to kind of die, but I was into the characters and I kind of wanted them to survive the shitty situation that they were in. I did empathize with their situation. Some characters I liked more than others, but for the most part, the characters were effective for what they needed to be. And the acting was also pretty good. No one gave a really shitty performance. No one really hammed it up. I think the only person that really hammed it up was Sean Gunn. He was playing like that druggy type character that thinks it's all an illusion. It's all in my mind, bro. You know, let me just smoke this weed. That's the only person I felt like was hamming it up, but I think he did it on purpose. So the acting, the writing, the characters, they're all pretty decent. As for the issues it had, the biggest flaw that holds this film back from being great is that its story is far too predictable. You know how the film is going to end right from the get-go. And I know I mentioned that I was still into the story and I wanted to see how it was going to unfold, and the reason I said that is because I was patiently waiting for the film to surprise me, to really buck the trend and go against what my premonition was. Because I already kind of guessed how the film was going to end, but I was hoping that the film would prove me wrong, but then the film ended up proving me right. My hypothesis was correct, and I was kind of bummed out like, oh man, I guessed it. Come on, I expected a little better from you, James Gunn. I mean, come on. You made Dawn of the Dead and Super, films that actually surprised me with its story. Also, the story is supposed to be an obvious commentary about how human nature at its core is animalistic, and at the end of the day, people look out for themselves. They said as much in the trailer, and although I did feel that this theme was present throughout, I felt like it could have been executed a bit better. I felt like they kind of fell on that execution. They didn't do a good job at exploring this whole commentary like other films in the same genre. Another major issue with the film is that the lead guy lacks any sort of charisma and is so unlikable. I could not for the love of God root for this guy or give two shits about him. He's so bland and generic. And honestly, I wanted him to die halfway through the film and have someone else take the lead role. It could have been his girlfriend, it could have been one of the alpha males, it could have been one of the fat guys, it could have been the new girl, it could have been Michael Roker, it could have been Sean Gunn, anybody but him. He is without a doubt the least interesting character in the entire film. Not only that, he's this kind of smug asshole who thinks because he stands on the moral high ground he's better than everybody, but his actions cause more harm than it does helping anybody. Now for this next part, I'm going to be traveling through spoiler territory. So if you want to see the Belko Experiment but want nothing ruined for you, just go to this number right here to bypass the spoiler section and go to my overall thoughts. Are they gone? Are we good now? Okay, so at the end of the film, the male lead ends up being the sole survivor, which really irritated me because, as I said before, I don't like his character. But what really irked me about the fact that he ends up being the sole survivor is that by the end of the film, the character wasn't really challenged in his morality. I thought it would have been more interesting if the character actually had to give up his moral stance in order to win. Because at the end, he was kind of justified in killing the head alpha male because he kind of killed his girlfriend in a shootout that happened at the first floor. So he's like, oh, you killed my girlfriend, so I'm justified in killing you. It would have been more interesting if actually there was a character who was this girl who's a new employee of the Belko industry. And throughout the entire film, it seems like she was going to be the sole survivor, or at least play a crucial role at the end of the film. But sadly, she dies in the most stupidest of ways. So she's hiding inside of the elevator shaft, and she gets into one elevator, and then she stupidly decides, okay, I'm gonna go down to the first floor because I think it's gonna be okay. And once the elevator doors open, the head alpha male shoots her in the head. I'm like, oh, well, there goes that character. What a complete waste. They set this character up to be something interesting, and then they do absolutely nothing with her. What would have been interesting is, yes, have the male lead face against the alpha male and kill him, but he's like, okay, why isn't it over? Because one person's still alive, and it ends up being the new girl, and now he has to make a decision as to whether or not to kill her to make it out, or they both survive, you know, kind of doing a Hunger Games type thing. But at the end, no, it's just like, nah, we're gonna have a final duel between the alpha male and the male lead, and it's just yawn fest. We've seen that done before. That's nothing new, that's nothing interesting. And again, it frustrates me that the male lead ends up being the sole survivor. Hell, why couldn't it have been his girlfriend? That would have been interesting. You know, his girlfriend ends up living and she survives. I mean, she was probably the most interesting character in the entire film besides maybe Sean Gunn and Michael Roker and a bunch of others, but I really don't like the fact that the male lead ended up surviving. There is another twist. There are two twists at the end of the film. One is you get introduced to the people who are pulling the strings for the experiment, and then he ends up killing all of them in a pretty gratifying way. I will say that was pretty cathartic to see. But then, after he killed them all, he goes outside and he's like, yes, it's all over. The camera zooms out and it shows that he's actually a part of a much bigger experiment that's gonna be happening probably in the sequel. No, I hope not. I don't. Well, you know what? I take that back. I would like to see a sequel, but I hope that he does not survive that long. Because there were other people in the different TV panels that looked way more interesting. There's this one guy that's literally looking directly at the camera, blood on his face, like, hey man, I did it. I'm like, I want to see that guy. Or this one lady's holding a gun up to the camera. There's far more interesting stories in these TV panels than the story about this forgettable male lead. So overall, The Belko Experiment is a passable film. Nothing truly remarkable, but nothing god-awful and terrible. It's just, it's okay. It's enjoyable. I found some things to like about it, but if you don't see The Belko Experiment, nobody's gonna get mad at you. In fact, I doubt that a lot of people are going to see The Belko Experiment, especially since that other movie came out. That's basically going to cannibalize the audience this weekend. But you know, if you don't see it, nobody's gonna be mad at you. But if you're a big James Gunn fan, you probably might find something to like about it. But as always, guys, I'm not the end-all be-all opinion when it comes to The Belko Experiment. I would love to know what you guys thought about the film as well. Did you absolutely adore it? Is it your favorite film of the year? Is it your favorite film written by James Gunn? Or is it really boring, dull, generic, and cliche and you just couldn't get into it? And let me know, what is your favorite battle royale type film? A film where people kill each other in order to survive? Comment below, let me know, and stay tuned. I got more videos on the way. You're probably going to be getting 2 anime reviews this weekend. Lucky you guys. And I am thinking about doing a very special rant video pertaining to something that just recently dropped. So hopefully I can get that video done if I'm not too lazy. And as always, if you'd like to support the Black Critic Guy just a smidge more, why not consider donating to my Patreon account? Link is in the description. And if you'd like to send me any fan letters, send it to this P.O. box right up here. And if you'd like to be a part of the Black Critic crew, not miss out on a single awesome video, then hit that subscribe button below, hit that bell button while you're at it, like this video if you really enjoyed it, and I'll tell you about it in a second. The Insane Killer! known as the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube!